Hey guys, Bryan with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana, and obviously it's not this cold in Louisiana. I'm wearing some merch. I'm just showing you guys some of the merch that we've got available. It's not for sale yet. These are just samples, right? So I'm kind of making sure they get the right material, right product. We got a little nice Cajun Cardboard beanie. I don't know if you guys live in cold weather places, but this would be a good fit. But I'm gonna do the video in a little bucket hat right here. We'll do this video in the bucket hat. How's that? So there's another option for you with the Cajun Cardboard logo on there. If you want to support the channel, you'll have an opportunity to buy some really cool merch, quarter zips, hoodies, a really badass backpack, most expensive backpack in the hobby. You're going to want to be flexing this backpack at card shows. Today's video is about, I haven't done a video since the original Power of 23 Consolidation project announcement. Today's video is, as you guys have seen, a couple of mail days, a couple of rumors, maybe some Instagram posts. I've begun the Consolidation project. I've been really heavily liquidating a lot of the lower to mid-end Michael Jordan stuff that's in my collection. And every once in a while, I'll share details about that. I'm doing almost all of it, not all of it, but almost all of it on Fanatics weekly auctions, a little bit on Fanatics buy now marketplace, and then even a little bit of private deals, just kind of putting offer sheets out there to certain buyers on my buyers list and things like that, and moving some cards like that. We're sort of approaching that plateau for the low to mid-range MJ high grade stuff. I think, I don't know. We're kind of gathering information and data every time I do one of these auction recaps. Today's video is just going to be me showing you the Power of 23 Consolidation project. It's decision time. I'm at 30 cards and I've got to get down to 23, or do I? We're going to talk through all of this kind of stuff in this video, and then I want you guys to comment. And again, I'm not taking orders from anybody in the comments, but I love using you guys as a sounding board. You guys have watched me for a long time. You guys have great insight. I'm talking about all of you folks in the Cajun Collective that have watched this channel, that know so much. Many of you know a lot more about Michael Jordan card collecting than I do. You've been doing it longer. You've got a more nuanced collection, and I'd love to get some feedback from you in the comments. So that's what today's video is about. I'm going to show you the 30 cards right now that are in the Consolidation Power of 23 project. We got to figure out, do I condense this down to 23? How do I condense it down to 23? Or do we maybe bend the rules a little bit and add an asterisk on there for the 23 number? Enjoy the video, guys. At least you're going to look at some really cool cards today, and I'll give you a snapshot of kind of where I am in this project and how I got here. If you've got a bunch of unwanted inventory that you've been sitting on for days, weeks, months, years, ship it to Fanatics Marketplace and let them do all the work. Just make sure when you ship it, you use the promotional code CAJUN, all capital letters, C-A-J-U-N. All right, guys, I couldn't keep the bucket hat on. The bucket hat is off, okay? So look, I've got a folder that I've created, a shareable folder. That's one of the beautiful things about Fanatics and vaulting your cards with Fanatics, is I can share with you guys all of the cards in my collection, every soccer card, every basketball card, every non-sport. I can share all of them with you in one screen. If I wanted to go through 1,000 cards or whatever, 500 cards or whatever it is now, I don't even know. We can look at every single card, front and back, titles, images, pops, and all that stuff. But I've put all 30 of the cards that are in consideration for the Power of 23 project here in a shareable Fanatics screen share. So Power of 23 is 30 at the moment. You guys see it. That's the issue, is like, what do I do now? Where do I go from here? I'm not complaining. It's a good problem to have. All 30 of these cards are worthy of being in the top 23 in my personal collection. And the ones that I let go of, they've got to be sold at some point, or traded, really, is what I'd like to do. And that might be the direction that we go. But let's just start the slideshow. Obviously, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the cards that are no-brainers. I mean, clearly, far and away, this card is going to be in my top 23 forever. I'm never going to have 22 cards or 23 cards better than this one. So that's your championship PMG right there. And these are in no particular order. This one is a tricky one because this one's a lot more valuable than I realized. I thought I was going to keep my 97 row 0 pairing. I've got a PSA 10 and a BGS 9.5, which you'll see in a second. I thought I was going to keep those 2 legacies and sell the other 6 legacies. And then I saw the value of this card and I realized it's a pop 14 and there's only 5 PSA 10s. It's a Jordan playing years serial numbered card on the back. It's got the shimmer effect. This is probably my second favorite after the 97 row 0. This is probably in the 96 row 0. It was probably my second favorite Jordan Legacy Collection card. So I don't know. This one is, we'll just say this one is sort of, let me make this a little small. Okay, this one's sort of in limbo. Okay, so let's move on to the next one here. We've got the 97 Finest Gold Embossed Refractor. That card's not going anywhere. 9 is a really good grade on that card. Yeah, it's got some greening, but you know what, damn it, all of them do. Serial number Jordan, serial number to only 74. There it is in gold foil, 42 out of 74. That card is clearly not going anywhere. It's part of the Consolidation project. This is a potential candidate to get cut. And it's badass. Look at it is, and it's a serial numbered to 100 Jordan playing years card. It just doesn't quite get the attention that the others do. It's a pop 13. There are none higher, so this is as good as it gets in a BGS 9.5. I don't know if it fits. You know, it's not a tier 1 card. It's the first card we're looking at that's not a tier 1 card, and so I never really gave much thought to tier 1 or bust. I didn't really think that way because I think at some point I might pick up a certain, you know, Michael Jordan exquisite card, or maybe I'll pick up, you know, a platinum medallion in a very high grade, which would be a tier 2 card as well. So I haven't really kind of thought through all that stuff, and that's sort of what this video is about. It's just sort of therapeutic and looking in a mirror and kind of figuring out, where do I go from here? What do I do to get to 23? And the reason I mentioned the asterisk in the introduction is one of the viewers of the channel commented, and it was an OG subscriber, right, to the Cajun Cardboard channel, and said, you know what? Well, there was 2 different comments. The first comment was, you shouldn't count duplicates. So if you have 4 of one card, that should just count as one card. Okay, well, that's one way to do it. Okay, that's fine. That's bending the rules a little bit, but it's not breaking them, right? So each card counts as 1. If I have 6 of them, that's still just one card as it pertains to my 23 number, right? And 23 is not arbitrary. That's Jordan's jersey number. Another commenter suggested, and this was clever, hey, Jordan wore 45. Why don't you just do 45 cards? That would be a great stress relief and relieve a lot of anxiety and give me a lot more, canvas to work on. You know what I'm saying? The difference between 23 and 45, it's almost double as many cards, even in South Louisiana. The math works out. 23 to 45 gives me an extra 22 slots. I don't have to make decisions now. I'm about to show you 30 cards, so maybe if it's 45, we don't have to make any decisions at this point. Let me know what you think about that idea. Power of 45 doesn't sound quite as cool. It's just not as sexy. It's not as cool, and I don't know if I like changing directions on my idea so far. PMG Red, number 1. That's just the number 1 out of the 23, so that's never going anywhere. This was a card that I considered moving, and then I changed my mind when I started to realize just how rare it was. In fact, I did a video. It was a roundtable discussion. It was was it a live stream? No, it was just a roundtable discussion with Chris McGill, Josh Dawson, and Frankie. And, you know, Chris had this card, like, I think squarely in his, like, top 10, maybe top 5. And so I started thinking, you know what? Rarity does matter. And just because this card's not appreciated as much today as it will, you know, it might be way more appreciated down the road. And then I started realizing I just don't see this card very often. Again, this is the 97 Super Rave. It's serial numbered to 50. Here is a copy of the card. There it is. It's card number 48 out of 50. And this is a PSA 6 copy that I picked up a really long time ago. I picked it up for, I think, man, I'm trying to remember. I think it was like $24,000 years ago. And obviously I got away with it because of the grade. If it was a PSA 10, it'd be hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's a PSA 6. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy the card, not the grade. I'm going to check this off on my hierarchy. This is back when I was chasing the hierarchy. It's a tier 2 card. It's not a tier 1 card. Could it be a tier 1 card? Should it be a tier 1 card? I don't, maybe. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of, you know, ifs, ands, or buts, and what ifs, and all this other crap. But this Super Rave PSA 6 right now is probably in the ambiguous category for a bigger reason that I'm about to show you. Next on our list, we got a Slam Bams PSA 6. So again, huge card, low grade, PSA slab. So, you know, we're getting to that phase of the hobby where it's like if I asked, you know, 100 very experienced 90s basketball card collectors, they don't have to be Jordan collectors, just 90s basketball card collectors, would you prefer a PSA 6 or a BGS 8? I think it would literally be split 50-50. And so I, as a grade snob, as a self-proclaimed grade snob, I came into the hobby as a shiny flipper, right? Bottom raw, grade, flip the 10, right? Chase 10, 10, 10, 10, everything, 10 everything, or 9.5 in BGS, right? That was all I cared about. And it's like my hobby, my experience in the hobby, my trial and error in the hobby, my knowledge, my understanding, my research, my investigation, my due diligence, and just hundreds of, maybe not thousands certainly, of hours of like just maneuvering through the hobby over the last 5, 6, 7 years. I've eased off on that 10 or bust type. Obviously, if I'm selling hundreds of Michael Jordan PSA 10s, even the low pop ones, then I've eased off that 10 or bust type theory. So I'm looking past the grade, trying to look at the card. These slam bams are a bitch to find. There's a hole punch version. There's a kind, out there that's lingering that people are buying. There's a one missing the foil. There's a fake one out there with only 2 digits on the back. I say fake. There's some disagreement. There's supposed to be 3 digits in the numerator. So mine's number 5, but it's 005. It's not supposed to be 05. So there's just disagreement amongst people about whether that's a backdoor copy or a counterfeit or, whatever it is. I'm not even going to get into all that, but there's a hole punch copy. There's some that are missing the foil on the front. So there's a bunch of different versions of this out there. But this one is obviously, it would not be in my top 10, but it's I think squarely in my top 23 for sure, regardless of grade. I'm super excited to finally announce that the Cajun Cardboard brand is now an affiliate partner with Ship My Cards. Ship My Cards has deep roots in the sports card hobby and a comprehensive list of services from shipping and storage to grading, consignment, private sales, escrow services, and even the exclusive premium white glove delivery service for your highest of the high-end cards. When you check out on shipmycards.com, make sure to use the promo code Cajun123. And in fact, like if it was a PSA 8, it wouldn't even be a discussion. Like it would clearly be, in my top 15 cards that I own. But because it's a PSA 6, you start to question those things. But I'm getting better at that. I'm trying to look past that number that's on the PSA label and just know that it's in a PSA label. That's like first and foremost. 97 Skybox Premium Star Rubies, not going anywhere, right? It's the only Star Rubies I own. I'm still looking for the other 2. And there's moves to be made out there for certain Star Rubies, the 2 that I don't have. These are huge cards. They're Tier 1 cards. This is probably the most affordable of the Tier 1, and it's not affordable anymore. It ran. Bought this one raw from my good friend Bob, who's still a viewer of the channel and a good friend of mine up in the great state of Connecticut, and bought it raw, graded it, came back a PSA 8. Bob's like, this is real. Trust me, it's real. It's pack pull. And I'm like, yeah, you're damn right it is. And came back a PSA 8. And this was the crown jewel of what was to this day the most fun I've ever had in the hobby, which was acquiring the raw collection from Bob up in Connecticut and getting that thing back here. It was a pretty cool playlist. If you missed it, you probably want to go watch the Cross Country Collection playlist. It's like hundreds of videos just showing you the collection and grading the collection and grade reveals and all sorts of opening boxes and not knowing what's in it. It's really fun, really fun. And there's the serial numbering up there, of course, 11 out of 50. This thing graded a PSA 8, which I was very, very happy with. Could have been higher. Next, we've got a Legacy Collection Row 2. This is 97 Row 2 PSA 9. It's a pretty high grade for this card. Again, second year is serial numbered to only 100, and it's got that blue foil down there for the Jordan name and then the serial number stamp right there, 064 out of 100. This one is on the hot seat, I guess we'll say. I've got the entire set, the entire Legacy Collection set, so I've got all 7. So if I decide to break up the 7, as a set collector, that is really hard to wrap my brain around, is that I could sell one of them and still have the other 6. That just seems weird to me. I do make a distinction, right or wrong, I make a distinction between the 97 Row 0 and all the others. I don't know why. It's just from the beginning. I have always prioritized that. It's the second year. It doesn't make any sense. It's the only horizontal one. It just hits different to me, means more to me. So this card is probably on the hot seat if I had to guess. If I'm going to go from 30 to 23, this card is almost certainly going to be one of the casualties. Let's just put it that way, right? Next, we've got 97 Flair Showcase Legacy Collection Row 1, and this is a PSA 9 Pop 5, only 2 higher. So this is a mother right here. This is something right here. And again, 97 is going to be serial number 2. 100 again, there's that blue foil 005 out of 100, just like the slam bands we looked at. It's got that shimmer on the front, and so this one stands out a little bit too. You're a little bit more than the last one we looked at. Tough decisions to be made. Speaking of the aforementioned 97 Flair Showcase Legacy Collection Row 0, here's the PSA 10. That's not going anywhere. Anytime you have a Legacy Collection PSA 10, that's a keeper. That's a keeper no matter what. I don't care what rules or what project I'm doing or how much I'm consolidating. I'm not letting this card go. If I let this card go, I'm letting my collection go. That's just kind of the way I look at it. Same as the PMGs, right? 96 Row 1 PSA 7. Mid-grade, okay grade, first year Legacy. Like I said, I got all 7 of them. This one's a good-looking card. This is the weakest of my Legacy collections, right? Because a BGS 7.5 is much worse than a PSA 7 in my perspective and probably the perspective of most folks out there. Again, when you're talking about cards like this, you want to try to look past the label and look at the card itself and just kind of ask yourself the question, where does a card fit, right? I thought enough of the card with the consensus of other great Jordan collectors to include the Legacy collections, all 7 of them in Tier 1. There was a little bit of pushback, not a lot, but a little bit of pushback that maybe some of the Flair Legacy collections should have been in 1, along with some of the, maybe 2 namely, of the Platinum Medallions should have been in Tier 1, and then you drop out, a couple of the Legacy collections, and that's certainly a reasonable argument. Metal Universe Platinum Portraits BGS 9.5, we saw the PSA 10 sell for $138,000. And this is in a nutshell why I'm doing this. So is the Platinum Portraits a big card? Yes, it's a big card. Is a PSA 10 a great grade? Yes, it's a great grade. But the Platinum Portraits is not as big of a card as, let's say, Playmakers Theater. It's just not. It's not even in the same category. It's not even remotely close. And I paid less for 3 Playmakers Theaters, each of the 3, than I did for a Platinum Portraits PSA 10. And that's kind of what led me to this, is when I saw what the Meltdown sold for, I saw what the Platinum Portraits sold for, I saw what some of these really, really, I don't want to call this a mid-end Michael Jordan card, because this is a huge card. This is a very big card. It's in my 23 best or 30 best for sure. So it's a big card, but I don't believe that this card should outsell Playmakers Theater in any grade. I don't believe this card in any grade should outsell a Super Rave in any grade. And it is by a huge margin. $138,000 for a PSA 10 copy of this makes this worth what? I don't know, 40, 50, 60, 70. I don't know. I have no idea what that makes this card worth. But I could go get 4 Legacy collections, 3 Legacy collections for sure in mid-grade for $70,000. I am 100% positive I could go do it right now, right this second. I could snap my fingers and make that deal happen. That doesn't make sense to me because those Legacy collections are serial numbered 100 or 150. They're Michael Jordan. They're playing years. The grade shouldn't matter as much as it is. And right now there's such a hyper focus on this grade that it makes me wonder maybe this one needs to be liquidated and or traded. Maybe. I don't know. Not going anywhere. The best copy that I can hope to have, it's a Gem Plus Jambalaya. It's a Tier 1 card. It's the amazing grade. I don't prefer it in a BGS 9.5 to a PSA 10, but it looks pretty freaking good. So this one's going nowhere. Ultra Stars Gold going nowhere. Quad Gem, gold on gold, gold embossed, 28,800 pack odds, Tier 1 going nowhere. And it's my only copy of those. Grand Finale PSA 8 going nowhere. Used to own a PSA 9. Moved down from a 9 to an 8 in a trade to put a 98 PMG in my collection at a very, very good price. Moving from the 9 to the 8 got me a lot of financial trade value. So I gave my 9, which is I think a Pop 2, none higher, got an 8 in return, kept the card just in a lower grade, and got a lot of financial capital to apply towards my trade value to get that 98 PMG, which is worth, significantly more than it was at the time I traded it. So it worked out great financially. And there it is. There's the PMG. So this is the PMG, 98 PMG that I did pick up. Believe it or not, there's only 4 higher graded than a PSA 6. That's crazy. There's only 4 PMG, 98 PMGs graded higher than a PSA 6. That's crazy. The way I collect my prioritization and ranking hierarchy, for a lack of a better word, I have the PMGs head and shoulders above any other card that we've looked at. All of them. It doesn't matter. I don't care what everything, serial number 2, none of it matters. Red PMG, Champ PMG, 98 PMG, and obviously the green is worth more than my whole collection. But those other 3 PMGs I have prioritized as the 3 most important cards in my personal collection. Whether value-wise they are or not, it doesn't matter to me. I think those are better cards. I think long-term those will be better. I think the world will agree those are better. That's just my personal opinion. Let me know if I'm crazy on that. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just like the word precious. I don't know what it is. And this is interesting. Now we're about to look at 3 Michael Jordan Upper Deck game jersey cards. These cards came to my collection when I decided to sell my 86 Fleer PSA 10 rookie and my 86 Fleer PSA 10 rookie sticker. When I sold those 2 cards, and I used Fanatics to sell those cards, promo code Cajun, all capital letters, if you guys are going to do the same. It hurt. It was not easy. It was the first. It wasn't a step backwards, but it was weird. It was a step. I don't want to say it was sideways, forwards, backwards. It was a strange step. Let's just put it that way, because you guys know I never did sacrifice Jordan cards to add Jordan cards. I would just dig and find more money. I would go sell something else, or just make more money, or just wait until I had more money and then buy a Jordan card. But moving the 86 Fleer PSA 10 sticker and base freed up a lot of capital, and it freed up a lot of capital to pick up that 98 PMG. And then all 3 of these Upper Deck game jersey cards. This is the 98, and it's a 9.5 with 210 subgrades. This is going to be the 99, and this is the patch variation with 3 colors right here. And it is a min gem. That's a pop 3, none higher, and that's the 99. And then this is the 97, the OG, the big one. And I picked all 3 of those up in the same package deal. And it was with money that I freed up by selling the 86 Fleer. And I think in the long run, I think those 3 cards today, they may be worth more than the 86 Fleer sticker and base. I don't know. It depends. You just don't see 9.5 sell very often. And I had a chance to acquire 97, 98, 99, all in 9.5, all together. And I just couldn't resist the urge to take a picture of that. and the OCD of having all 3 cards graded the same grade meant so much. And so that's a pop 4, none higher. That card has run a lot lately. If you go look at what 8.5s and stuff are selling for, they're selling for pretty good numbers. 9.5 makes it super special. Another gem legacy collection. Again, it's like, okay, so do I let the non-gem legacies go and then keep both the 97 row 0 gems and then keep this gem and just sell all the other 9s and 7s and 8s? It didn't really make much sense to me, because in a lot of people's perspective, you know, this row 3 9.5 is not better, and 9.5 BGS may not even be perceived as a better grade than, you know, the Shimmer PSA 9 that we looked at. So I don't know. It's hard. The legacy collections are very confusing. I just really have a hard time letting go of Michael Jordan playing years serial numbered cards, especially when they're serial numbered to 100 or 150. That's just very hard for me to do. I don't know what else to say. The Tradition Playmakers Theater, Michael Jordan, serial number to 100, BGS 9. Again, a lot of people don't know. You're about to see 4 Playmakers Theaters, okay? So just settle down, okay? You're going to see 4 Playmakers Theaters. Nobody else in the world's got 4, to the best of my knowledge. I do have 4. What did I show you already? I can't remember. Maybe the PSA 7, but this is a BGS 9 copy. I don't anticipate, nope, there's the 5. Okay, so this is the one I picked up raw that ended up grading a 5. You've probably seen it in a recent mail day. And then this is going to be the big boy, right? And remember, when you buy on Fanatics, look what you get. Look at this. Click it. You get this badass video. You get a video in your own vault. So I've got my cards spinning around. You know, how fancy is that? But if you want to just look at the card, you can look at the card. The one thing I did want to, I don't know if I showed the 7 yet or not. I can't remember. But Playmakers Theater, Playmakers Theater, Playmakers Theater, Playmakers Theater. So 4 of the 23 are taken up by Playmakers Theater. And that's why, you know, it led me to question, maybe each card only counts as 1. Maybe Playmakers Theater counts as 1 card and I've got 4 copies. Maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe that's the way to cheat my way into more than 23 cards. I don't know. Here's the Flair Showcase Legacy Collection Row 0 BGS 9.5. So I've got a PSA 10 and a BGS 9.5. This is a great deal I got done with Taka cards. Taka cards, I like to say that. Super simple. Got a deal done in 5 minutes. Sent a wire, shipped the card, arrived at the vault, uploaded, done, easy, good. 2 gem mint copies of my favorite legacy collection, the 1997 Row 0, and it's card number 61. out of 100. There is that PSA 7 Playmakers Theater, and the reason this one's special, and you may have seen it in a mail day, serial numbered 1 out of 100. So if I was going to get rid of Playmakers Theaters, this would be the second one that I covet the most. Now, one thing, and the reason I'm sharing this video is to kind of talk through this process, because it's causing me anxiety thinking about letting go of some of these cards. I've let go of a bunch of really awesome cards, inside, outside, total Ds, total Os, all that. Go through the list, fabulous 50s, platinum medallions. I've let go of tons and tons and tons and tons of cards. It's giving me anxiety thinking about letting go of these tier 1 type cards. And so the one thing that I would consider is using a couple of my Playmakers Theaters, using my duplicate Slam Bams, using my duplicate Super Rave to somehow finagle my way and kind of work my way into an Essential Credentials or one of the 2 rubies that I don't have. So I am going to prioritize a unique card that I don't have in tier 1 over a duplicate copy of another tier 1 card. Does that make sense? And so I would let one of my Super Raves go. I'd let 2 of my Playmakers Theaters. I don't know if I'd let 3 go, because this one's numbered to 1, which is cool, and the other one's a 9.5, which takes it into rarefied air in my personal opinion. So trade bait is sort of another. I'm super excited to announce that BCW is an affiliate partner of the Cajun Cardboard brand. When you check out at BCW, use the promo code Cajun to receive 10% off of your order. Deal. So if anybody's watching, you know, and like, this is a card that I chase forever, right? I picked this card up very recently in a deal where I got 5 tier 1 cards in one day, and this was the one that has eluded me for the longest, and finally I got it, and it's an OG and it's original. I love it, and thinking about maybe crossing it to PSA just to see what happens. Card number 8 out of 100. That's your Star Quest Gold right there, and we'll just keep going. Super Rave, there's another copy of a Super Rave. So you saw the PSA 6, this is a BGS 8. That's what and what. So those cards are about the same. If I cross this over, it probably would come back a 7. I mean, you look at those subgrades, 9.5, 8.5, 8.8. Maybe this thing comes back to PSA 7. If you told me with a magic wand, hey, Cajun, if you give us $1,000, this card will go from BGS 8 to a PSA 7, I would say yes in 1 Cajun second. I would do that in a second. Let me know in the comments. Am I crazy? Like, if you told me, if Nat Turner took the card out of my hand at the National and said, hey, I can cross this to a PSA 7 for you for $3,000, I'd hand him $3,100 bills. I would not think twice about it, because that's how much it costs, right, to grade big cards, right? But I don't think I would want a PSA 6 over BGS 8. Does that make sense to you guys? Do you guys agree with that? Is that the line you cross? Or maybe you're just stubborn OG and you're like, leave the card alone. Who gives a damn what the grade is? Maybe you think a BGS 8 is better than a PSA 7 still. Some people do still. I like the idea of these old cards where people question authenticity. I love them being in PSA slabs. If I could wave a magic wand and all of the BGS 8s or all of the BGS slabs that you saw go to PSA one number down, I would love to wave that wand. I would wave that wand in a second, because then I would have some peace of mind regarding authenticity. There's the other Slam Bams. It's BGS 8.5, so I got a PSA 6 and a BGS 8.5. The other one was what, number 5? This is number 94. And that's it, guys. So back to the list. So 30 cards. I've got some serious decisions to make. I'm just throwing this out there. Part of this is show and tell. So forgive me if that comes off as ostentatious or, you know, whatever. Again, it's not obrus. I'm literally trying to wrap my brain around, where do I go from here? If I've got this idea and this promise I made to myself to reduce it to 23, do I add an asterisk for duplicate copies? Do I change it from 23 to 45 because Jordan wore 45? What do I do? What do I do here? Do any of these cards stand out as less than the others? Do any of these cards stand out like, Cajun, clearly your Diamond Dimensions, you know, doesn't belong in that group. Your Platinum Portraits does not belong in that top 23. If any of those cards like that, or even one of the Legacies stands out and you're like, that doesn't belong in there, let me know in the comments what you think. But I've got some big decisions to make. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but you guys will be the first to find out. And that's it, guys. That was it. Just show and tell, showing you where I am. I'm going to keep you guys updated in my Power of 23 consolidation project. The website's coming soon. The bucket hats are not in yet, but these are the promos. And so quarter zips, hoodies, bucket hats, T-shirts, mugs, Yetis. You're going to have all kinds of Cajun Cardboard swag if you want it. If you want that kind of merch, it'll be available, and it's print on demand. So all you got to do, and look, I'm checking on all this stuff. Like if it's dog shit quality, I'm saying nope, give me better. And I'm telling my brand manager, you know, we had one that came in. The only thing I'm finding is some of them were running a little bit small. Not all of them. By the way, the Cajun Cardboard polo golf shirt is Adidas branded. The quarter zip, Adidas branded. The t-shirts are stretchy and delicious. Like you can take a nap in it. It's beautiful. It feels like you've had the shirt for 20 years. And so I'm only going to bring y'all high quality shit. The backpack came in and I was pissed. It was real flat. It couldn't fit a Zion case. I was like, man, my people, if they're going to buy a Cajun Cardboard backpack and say, you know, I've got a backpack that's like branded by the hobby. It may not even be me that you love. It's just like, it's just cool to have hobby related t-shirts, hats, bags, gear, you know, trapper keepers, whatever. You know, the backpack came in and it was like flat. I was like, I can't even fit a freaking folder in there, let alone my kid couldn't even bring his homework in there, let alone put a damn Zion case in there. Like I like to put my Zion case in my backpack and carry it around when I'm at the card shows so I don't have to, you know, pull and, you know, first of all, I'm not going to drag some rolling luggage like a super dork, but I also don't want to like lean over and jack my back up trying to carry a Zion case in one hand from table to table. So I throw it in my backpack because I'm not pulling it out at every table. That's what she said. I'm not going to pull my Zion case out at every single table, right? And so I just throw it in my backpack. If a deal comes along and I got to get it out and we start doing some stuff, fine. And you guys know me. I don't trade or sell very much at card shows. I don't even go to card shows, to be honest with you. Just the national. People keep asking me, are you going to be at the Spectacular? Are you going to be in Wisconsin? Are you going to be in Philadelphia? I'm like, dude, no, I've got 7 kids and they all play sports and I've got a wife and there's just no way. I never go to card shows. I just don't do it. I'm also not efficient at card shows. It's great to see people, shake hands, and see all my friends in the hobby and talk to people that watch the channel and stuff like that. That's great, but I don't get much done at card shows. So for me to make that sacrifice and miss my kids' sports stuff, you know, life is short. So I'm not going to miss too many more of those things to go even do card stuff, which you guys know I love. But the merchandise is coming in. It'll be available on the website. I am promising you, and my brand manager is promising me, and the dude designing the website in Dubai, yes, you heard that right, is promising him this website will be up and running on January 1st. This website will be up and running on January 1st. You will be able to log in. You will be able to see links to videos. You will be able to see some exclusive content. You will be able to buy merchandise. You might even be able to buy cards that I have for sale. You'll be able to see some really cool stuff on the website. It's supposed to be the best in class. If you don't know me or what I'm about or what I do, but you care to know, you may not care to know, the website's going to be a nice hub to kind of find out what is the Cajun Cardboard brand? What am I about? What is my direction? What is my purpose? What is my pathway? What is my experience? Who am I as a human being? What do I believe in? You know, just different stuff like that. So I think you're going to like the website. Anyway, that's it, guys. Power of 23. Tell me what to do. Let me know your thoughts. Again, I'm not taking orders here, but I am soliciting information from you guys to make sure I'm not missing anything. I mean, that's the way to do it, is you research in the hobby, you adapt, you adjust, you maneuver, and then you start plugging along in a different direction. It happens. I'm so different as a collector than I was 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago, 7 years ago, when I was buying base hoops Giannis cards raw, grading them, and then selling them for profit. I'm just not even the same collector. It's completely different. And I think a lot of us, if we look in the mirror, that's kind of what makes the hobby fun, is when you burn out on a certain segment. And not that I burned out on Jordan hierarchy cards, but when you recognize an opportunity, let's call it that, and you observe a potential for arbitrage to collect cards and find cards you never thought you would have in your collection, you got to seize it. Carpe diem. Got to seize it, man. So let me know what you think in the comments, what I should do. Should I bend the rules? Should I change the rules? Should I just ignore the rules? Should I just try to put together the best collection I can? What am I doing? I don't know. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting. Stay positive in the hobby. And peace.